This is how Airbnb changed my life. How I got started in Airbnb was through rental arbitrage. Rental arbitrage is where you rent a home or an apartment from a landlord, and then with their approval, you can actually list that home or apartment on Airbnb. When I first started Airbnb, I didn't have that much money. I was kind of pouring all the money that I had into all these different entrepreneurial things that I was trying. So even when I was doing drop shipping, literally all the money that I had, I was trying to put them into the Facebook ads to market the store. And then when it didn't work, I had to keep finding other ways. So when Airbnb started, I decided to use my personal credit and then a little bit of savings that I had left to go all in. And overall, I think the startup was anywhere between $8,000 to $12,000, which I know is a lot of money, but using credit, it wasn't money that I had saved. And I was willing to take that risk because I figured what's gonna happen if it does work instead of focusing on what's gonna happen if it doesn't work. For the year, that Airbnb made over $50,000. So in the end, it was definitely worth it. Learning from that one Airbnb, I was able to scale to over 11 Airbnbs in only a year and a half and go from $50,000 in a year to almost $400,000 in a year. So it's been a crazy journey. I think Airbnb came naturally for me because I'm a pretty creative person. I love doing things hands-on. So I love interior design. I love building things. I love putting things together and seeing a space come alive. So when I started Airbnb, I was so excited to be able to put my touch on something. After I realized that one Airbnb could make me more than my full-time job, I realized this is something that I should really start scaling and figure out how to get more of them. So we dove into the research side of like how to create this business successfully so that we can create a long-term profitable business. So first we created an LLC for the business, which was just taking us from being people who were just trying to do Airbnb to actually being a company. So we created a short-term rental company for our Airbnb business, and then we decided to create a website for that company. So we made a private booking website that talked about who we were as a company, what we did, and what we offered. That way guests could book on our website, but also so that we could use this website to reach out to landlords. I think we were able to scale so fast at such a young age was partly because of that website, because it really showed professionalism when we were reaching out to landlords. So then after creating that website, we started reaching out to a whole bunch of different property managers in St. Louis. We started reaching out to homes, apartment buildings, really anything that we saw that was on Zillow that looked pleasing to us. In July, I made $6,000 that month, and then fast forward to when I got my second unit in November, I made like $11,000 in a month, and I kept realizing if I continue scaling, that number is going to continue to increase. I remember March was the first month that I was like, I'm making a lot of money from Airbnb. I had a $30,000 month. That might have been, I think that was 5 Airbnbs that got me to a $30,000 month. And then I decided to go all in and get a few more. So then in March, I got 3 more. And the following month, I made $50,000 in Airbnb. And then I got 2 more. And then the next month, I made $60,000 in Airbnb. So as I continued scaling, I just kept seeing the number grow, like in real life, in real time. With each new Airbnb that I got, the numbers just continued to multiply. After my first, second, or even third Airbnb, I definitely could have just been like, okay, this is enough money. Like, I'm comfortable. I'm making a lot of money, especially for my age. But I wanted more. I wanted more for myself. I wanted more for my family and just for my future. So I decided to take the money that I was making and just keep putting it back into the business to scale to more and more Airbnbs. I remember when I first started Airbnb, every day when I was waking up, I was looking at my phone, checking my bills, seeing what I had to pay in rent, what I had to pay in utilities, what I had in upcoming payments, and I was stressed. I was so stressed out, and I was like, I have to make this work. So then when Airbnb really started working for me and I didn't have to worry about some of those financial stresses and those things that felt like such a huge burden, it was life-changing. I realized that buying some of those material things wasn't going to get me to my end goal. It was only going to give me momentary gratification, and then after that moment's gone, you kind of look at what you bought and you're like, why did I even buy this? Like, do I even like it that much? So I decided I'm not going to waste my money on those things. Instead, I'm just going to take that money and try to build more with it. After I had my first $30,000 month, I found this Airbnb Facebook group and I got into it, and I was kind of just like sharing for inspiration, and I noticed that I got so many comments under my one post where I was talking about how much I made that month, and so many people were commenting and saying, can you help me? You know, can you DM me? Can you please private message me? I need your help. Can you teach me how you made this much from Airbnb? And a lot of people were starting to wonder how I was able to make that much at such a young age, and they wanted to know what I did to have that that success with Airbnb. I remember there was like 100 new Facebook messages. I didn't even use Facebook, and there were so many people asking me for help in my Facebook messages, and I was spending so long every single day responding to them, answering all of their questions, trying to help them. And then I realized, why don't I just create something that I can offer to them so I can help more people at once instead of trying to answer 100 DMs per day. So then I started doing like small one-on-one mentorships for a couple months, and then the demand for help got even bigger and more people wanted to learn how. I started an actual coaching business where I created multiple offers. I created a course, I created done for you offers, done with you offers, even high ticket mentorships to start offering more help to more people. And then eventually I even started offering a free class just so that I could actually reach everyone and help anyone who was interested in Airbnb. If you guys are interested in learning a little bit more about Airbnb, or if you're interested in becoming an Airbnb host, I'll drop the link in the description so you can sign up for my free live class. Airbnb gave me a lot of time freedom and a lot of financial freedom, and then once I started coaching, that only multiplied. The financial freedom from Airbnb and from coaching has really allowed me to spend my time doing what I want. After my brother passed away, that was one of the biggest things that just kept going through my mind, is like, how can I spend my time doing what I want before I pass away? How can I spend my time helping others, caring for my family, spending time with my family before either myself or they are gone? It really gave me that time to spend doing what I wanted to, how I wanted to, and with the people that I wanted to. At this point in my life, I really don't have any limitations because I put so many automations in place. So in my Airbnb business, I have almost everything automated, from guest check-in to messaging to everything in between. In my coaching business, I've been able to hire on so much of my family so that they can work with me and have more time freedom themselves, but then also give me a little bit more flexibility so that I can help a lot of people without then again trading so much of my time helping them. A lot of people are scared to make a lot of money because I think naturally it's been like told to society that when you have more money, you've heard more money, more problems, or that money is like evil. But I think what I've learned is that money only amplifies who you are. So if you're a kind person, when you have money, you're able to be more kind, you're able to do more for others. But I don't really think that it's more money, more problems, or that money is evil. I think you yourself just have to decide what you want to do with your money. And then I think a lot of people also think when you have a lot of money, you have no problems, but that's not the case at all either, because with entrepreneurship, there is still a level of responsibility. It's actually an extreme level of responsibility, if not more than just having a normal job, because you've now created something that you have to continue to nourish and build so that it can actually thrive and continue growing and make you long-term money, rather than when you're just working, you just have to do what someone's telling you to do. Another thing I've learned is that money only solves money problems. So I think, at least for me, when I used to see people with a lot of money, I used to think like, what is their life like? They must be stress-free, like no problems at all. But what I've learned is that money really only solves money problems. Anything that you're struggling with past money, whether that's personal, if it's emotional, physical, that's all still going to be there, even if you make a lot of money. In growing financially, you also have to focus on growing yourself as a person. You have to focus on physical growth, emotional growth, mental growth, and grow everything so that when you have a lot of money, you've also built up the person that you want to be to do good with that money and to enjoy that money and not have so many problems or so many things on the back end taking away from the freedom that that money has brought you. Creating the life that you want and creating financial freedom is possible for you. It doesn't matter what ethnicity, race, religion, age, it doesn't matter who you are. It's possible for you if you create the right mindset for it and then you put the intentional actions behind that mindset and actually do it. Naturally, everyone has their own vision for what success looks like. Some people want a big house, some people want a farm, some people want to live on an island, some people want a private jet. But no matter what your version of success is, or no matter what you want for your life, just know that you can never think too big, right? What I always tell like my brothers or my sisters or people that are asking for advice, I tell them, if you could have a genie stand in front of you right now and tell me exactly what you want, paint the picture of the exact life that you want, every single detail, and I'll make it come true. What would you put in all of those details? What would be the exact life that you draw out? That's how you actually have to come at the goals that you want. You have to think, what do I actually want? And then then go for it. For me, Airbnb is what changed my life. Airbnb is the avenue that I took that allowed me to create financial freedom for myself. It allowed me to create time freedom. Airbnb is what worked. And maybe Airbnb isn't for you, maybe Airbnb is for you. Whatever your path is and whatever your journey is, just go for it. And if you are interested in Airbnb and you're interested in seeing if Airbnb could also create income for you or change your life or create financial freedom for you, then just know that that is an avenue that you can take, and it is an avenue that works for a lot of people. Even if it doesn't work the first time or the second time, don't doubt yourself. Don't give up. Maybe that business isn't for you, or maybe you're just approaching it wrong. Try to problem solve instead of giving up and just continue at it.